There's a whole thing going on about AMC Theaters blacklisting this movie and trying to make sure that it didn't do well. They're cutting off the air conditioning to the theaters. They're making sure that the projector isn't working right, or they're telling people that a movie theater's sold out when it's not and there's nobody in it. And there's not really anything other than a couple videos that seem questionable that support that idea. When you look at official reports, you look at what the actual AMC Theaters CEO said about the project. He's saying there's a great partnership. We like Angel Studios. They like what they're doing. When he gave this quote, he said, the previous day, which was probably during the weekend, they showed the film over 3,000 times, and they're making a lot of money off of it, and they were happy with the partnership. And to me, that discredits any other thoughts unless you had something more credible than a couple videos that seemed like they could easily be misinformation.
Well, the most credible thing was Angel Studios coming out and coming to bat for AMC and saying the AMC there's nothing wrong with AMC. They're great. They're doing, they have no issues with them whatsoever. So, yeah, that's all I need to hear. I mean, I'm going to discount anything I see in the future negatively about AMC. But the thing is, you're right, to your earlier point. Initially, we were like, well, our first reaction, and I think it was even said in our household, well, we will never, ever darken the door of an AMC theater again. If that's that. And I think we actually said that because we believed the initial reports that we were seeing.
Assumed it was right.
Yeah.
Because we have our own particular bias that we're applying to this. And so we think, okay, we're very anti-Hollywood here in the Smiley household, if you couldn't tell. Because of that bias, we just assumed, oh, that makes sense. I could totally believe that a big theater like AMC would have just blacklisted a movie like this. It wasn't hard to believe, so we just assumed it was true. We didn't look into it until we actually wanted to sit down and talk about this podcast, and we had to question it and ask, is there facts that this is based on? And I think it goes back to the core of what Verity is about, and we have to focus on truth. And there's a podcast... There's another Christian podcast I've been looking at that seems kind of interesting that's about politics and Christianity, but the name of it is Truth Over Tribe. And I think that's the way we have to approach this stuff more and more. And like I said, we're big proponents of truth and all of this, and we got caught up into this tribalism here. So we all need to check ourselves with this kind of thing. And I think this is just a great example of that.
But part of our dislike of Hollywood is legitimate and is based on some legitimate things, and not just the kind of films that they've been making, but all you have to do is say the name Harvey Weinstein and everybody knows, and gosh. Or even someone like a Kevin Spacey who's, been indicted multiple times on, sexual abuse charges. Hasn't been convicted, I have to add, but he has been indicted in in several different places in other countries, and I think he even has some legal challenges that are still pending at the moment. So we'll don't know the outcome of that at this point, and I don't want to speak to it. But the thing is that you have a lot of bad actors. Harvey Weinstein was probably the poster child of the bad actors of folks in Hollywood that were doing some really, really, really dark stuff. It's not too great of a leap to go from the things that we documented that happened, that we know that went on, to saying, they probably might be against this, just because they're part of what's going on. It's not a huge intellectual leap to go there. And to your point, we absolutely have to be careful, and I don't want to go there. And I know a lot of people probably do. They're like, yeah, those people, no. Don't want to say that about Disney. Don't want to say that about Hollywood. Don't want to say that about anybody.
We really don't know.
Because we don't know. And we don't want to speak about things we don't know because we want to stay in the truth and focus on the truth. But, there are facts. There are things that we do know. And I don't know that there would be a lot of people that would be shocked if it came out that the worst conspiracy theorists were right about Hollywood and about what's going on, and about their opposition to this movie is because they're part of what's going on. I mean, if that happened, if that turned out to be the case, and it turned out to happen, I don't think for one, I wouldn't be surprised, and I think there are a lot of people that would not be surprised. But yeah, don't want to go there. We're still innocent until proven guilty in this, and we want to stay in the truth and not of all speculation. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I feel like you need to think about, and it's part of the conversation, and you have to wonder a little bit, honestly, if some of the opposition that Hollywood has to this movie isn't because of some of the sexual misconduct that is documented and very prevalent within that sphere and in that area.